And mine is that there's just a handful of rosters that I think could really use this guy, and I'm not really loving his current project, and that's XANTARES on Eternal Fire. I think that he proved with what he did in the online era for Big that one, he's incredibly capable at playing on an English-speaking team, and two, he's a phenomenal talent, and he's proving that still day after day when he's playing with Eternal Fire. He's just by far their best rated player. I think right now, last 3 months, he has over a 1.2. Dude's just, I mean, when you watch them play, it's like he's the guy that pretty much hard carries so many rounds with multi-frags over and over again. Like he's just he definitely could fit on a team like a G2 and I don't think he's really being talked about because it's, I mean, commendable that he wants to play with other Turkish players and make this Turkish super team. But if this guy wants to compete on the biggest stages again, and if people want an upgrade in firepower, this would be the guy to do it right now. And I'm sure that he's even learned more while still maintaining an incredibly strong mechanical grasp on the game. I'm pretty much, I don't think it's even a stretch to say this dude is still, in my eyes, and probably many people's eyes, top 5 most mechanically talented rifler in the scene right now. I don't even feel on edge at all saying that. I think that's just, you just watch any game he's playing. His crosshair, he is just micro adjustments. The speed at which he flicks his rifle is just, it's unbelievable, and it's so consistent too.
Yeah, I completely agree. I think he's obviously a very, very good player. Even when he was playing with Big, and he had some issues at the beginning. To getting adapted to communicating in a different language, but he was still a very capable rifler all the time. But having decided to come back to a Turkish project. But the thing is, that team is an okay team, top 30 team. They were able to go to the major. But the thing is, you don't see anyone coming, for example, from the academy team who just lost all games in the academy league, right? Who can come into the team and give XANTARES a hand, right? So it does raise a few questions about the future of the team if they don't have a massive upswing in form from some of the players, which I don't think is going to happen, right? Who are they going to pick up, right? Because the Turkish scene took a big hit when Valorant came out. They are one of the hottest scenes in the Valorant community. They have CNED, one of the best players in the world, right? So I just think that it's going to be very hard for them to find a player that can, take the team to another level. And if they continue to struggle, it's going to be hard, to see XANTARES compete at the top again.
Yeah, I mean, everyone knows when they even made the Eternal Fire squad, it's pretty much what everyone expected, which is like, it's got some firepower, so that'll be the fun angle. Like, can all the stars go off at the same time? But everyone could see the obvious problem is no traditional IGL. They're going to obviously suffer in that regard. I do think if you look at the team, they definitely have suffered from that. Basically, I do think part of the problem they have as a squad as well is in their team, it's like all super teams. It doesn't really work. You notice Woxic, Calyx and XANTARES don't all drop 25 at the same time and win the game. Actually, the dream premise doesn't really play out. As that Maui says, it's basically just XANTARES largely, and then the others contribute here and there depending on the map or the circumstances. And I actually agree. I think actually XANTARES has wasted his talent. I get the vibe of why you might want to stay. It's a bit like the Henny fucking Lucas thing. I get why they keep trying to play together in their careers. It's just if I were, essentially, because I'm not them and I don't have all the sentimental reasons in my brain, I just wish they wouldn't. I wish it's like Football Manager and I could just put Henny back on Fury and say, you have to play there. Sorry, I'm the manager in this case. So in the same case, yeah, I agree with you, Maui. I wish XANTARES not only fuck Big, he should be on a better team than Big. I actually even think the Big thing might have ruined this for us. Because think about it, the others have all been on the other teams now. Woxic was on Cloud9 and Mouse. Calyx even was on Envy. Well, the reason why we've never had XANTARES is because the only team he went to was Big, right? And I actually think that might have scared him away because that wasn't just speaking in English. They were trying to do a super tactical fucking German level, this is how the team will run. Of all the teams that a guy like XANTARES probably isn't going to enjoy fitting into, forget the language, that already culturally is going to be really uncomfortable. If you put him in a really loose team, dude, I think he would love playing an English speaking team. This guy could contribute so much because, as you say, the one part that was never a joke was his skills were always legit. The eye test always checked out for this player. Yeah, maybe he's not going to be here's the real problem. like most fan bases, it's Turkish fans trying to make him sound like he was Shocks, is why people dissed him. If you actually take out that stupid example and you just judge him against normal players, he is a really good player. He's like back in 1.6 where we did used to have the players, the Musambanis, etc., where you'd have like one player from a country who was just straight fire. And yeah, the rest of the country isn't as good, but you watch for that one player. It's like got novelty value to it, So I've always thought this was a good player. And unlike in 1.6 where the Oscars and the Musambanis of the world were locked in their scene, you don't have to be anymore. You actually can, for real, just go to one of these teams. Like here's an obvious example. Like, imagine they taken XANTARES as their stand-in for Ents instead of fucking Snacks. Who wouldn't want to see that lineup play? That would be an interesting project immediately, right? So I want him to go to that sort of a team and like make an influence. Because if you looked, I've looked up now, he's 26 years old, but like he's not a standard 26 though, because he's got mad wear and tear. He's been playing like LAN since 2015, according to HLTV. Like, he's got a lot of years under his belt. So I think if you're someone like XANTARES, you're probably not going to play 10 years more. Like, do one last adventure. Like, finish this project up. It's obviously not going to do that great, is it? Give it till the next major or something. But after that, like, try one last run, because actually it's the other guy that was in his former team, Big, that I think sucks in this case. This is going to be like the Tabson story. When his career ends, on the one hand, yes, it'll be cool that he stayed in this team that he believed in his country and blah, blah, blah. That's all great for that angle. But for the actual competitive side, everyone will always say, like, oh no, the Tabson player was actually a lot better than like his like, Wikipedia shows. Like, well, I'll have to do that, won't we? Because he stayed in like a not as good team. So I have a similar vibe about XANTARES. I think at the end of his career, we might actually regret that he never played in like a FaZe clan or something. Because he could. I think he really could.
Yeah, he'd be so sick on like a Liquid also. Just I mean any top, fringe top 10 team right now that speaks English just could use this guy and they would improve instantly. You could go 1-for-1 on so many teams and just make things better. I mean, also think about like Vitality for Masuda. Oh my god. There's just even thinking about these things gets me excited. Just the prospect of XANTARES being on one of these rosters and just making it's the final piece right there.
Or maybe an OG, something.
That's a good one.
Like that.
Yeah.
I think it could be a good fit for him.
Yeah.
Especially because here's the thing, dude. If you actually think, that's why I give at the end standing example as well. If you think of the people that we'd be putting him instead of, he's better than all these people. Like, he's better than anyone on OG. He's better than these fucking people in these squads we're talking about. Anyone on EG team, look, just put him on these teams. Like, it's almost certainly not going to be the wrong move. Like, I wouldn't worry about it. Want to see more cool, funny, interesting clips based on topics from my content? Well, subscribe to this channel then, or, be a pleb and don't.